You fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But Ian, this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you?
Shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up!
You got to blend Clint Eastwood with Larry David, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, I got a special guest today. I have James Knight, a New York comedian, on the podcast today, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. You know, I'm out here on Long Island, just doing what I can.
Okay. Man, we met off of the Riverside Pub open mic, man. First of all, how did you find about the mic? And you're in New York. It's crazy. What made you go to that mic that night?
So I was in town for work, and
Okay.
you know, I decided that, you know, if my job is paying for me to travel, I'm gonna get some stage time. So I was in the Facebook groups, like the DMV group, all that stuff. I kept posting, couldn't find any shows, but then I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, there's an open mic in Bel Air. I'm staying in Bel Air. I'm just gonna hit up this mic. I have no idea where it is. It's right next to my hotel. It is perfect. I literally just walk down the hill, do the mic, and go back to sleep. It worked out perfect for me.
Okay. So, man, James, what got you into this comedy game, man? Doing comedy.
You know, it was one of those things that I was like, you know, I always watched comedy, like growing up, like the Comedy Central roasts were like a religious event in my house. Like I was like, oh, I gotta watch the roast. Like I was very into stand up at an early age. And then you know, when I was in college, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. I'm just gonna do one open mic. It'll be a cool thing. If I'm ever playing Never Have I Ever, I can say I did stand up once. And 12 years later, I'm still doing it. So
God damn. That's a long grind right there, man.
oh, for real. It is a long grind getting your name out there, making sure, like, you know, you do what you can. Like it's a tough grind, but you know,
Ooh,
here we are.
12 pieces. Um,
Yeah.
so man, going, you know what I mean, you said um you've been doing it for 12 years. Where was the first mic you did it at?
So
Because New York is broad.
yeah, so New York's a big state. I started in Albany, New York, which is the capital,
Okay.
which is like maybe, let's say, 4 hours north of New York City.
Okay.
Maybe like three. It depends on who's driving and how you're getting there. So I started in Albany. I was part of a college comedy group which did improv, stand up, and sketch comedy. I was mostly interested in stand up. The group was mostly interested in improv. Um, but I did my first show. Um, it was like a free Saturday show that we did on campus, and there were maybe 20 people in the crowd, and I brought 13 of them because, you know, that's your first time, everyone's going to show up for it. And you know, I did well enough that I kept doing it. So
And I felt like I tell everybody, man, comedy is the most humbling art of all time because you gonna know if if the material's good, if it's not good, man. Have you
oh
ever
yeah.
had have you ever shit your pants on stage?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Every comic, I think it's important that you learn to not be afraid of bombing. You have to be okay with bombing. Especially when I do new stuff, I want it to bomb. I want it to bomb. Like I only want to get like a couple of laughs on certain lines, because if I do it the first time and it crushes, if it can bomb 10 more times after that, I'm not going to want to change it because I'm going to remember, oh, well, the first time I did it, I crushed. I'm going to be more likely to change it and make something better. So
Mm.
it's part of the process. You have to bomb.
And you know what I mean? How do you like? I tell everybody, man, being a black comedian, quote unquote, it's hard to um. Do you have struggles with working a predominantly black crowd with material? Does your material
Uh,
hit with
yeah.
a predominantly black crowd?
I don't know. I feel like I address every crowd.
Okay.
I feel like sometimes you do have to tailor to your crowd. I've been doing this long enough that there's not a crowd that intimidates me. Like
Okay.
black rooms can be intimidating to especially newer comics because they'll let you know if they don't like you. So you
Mhm.
have to be ready for them to let you know. So you gotta start strong in those rooms, and you gotta like keep them going along. But I don't think you should ever go into a room and be intimidated by a room, because I did a show at the Saratoga Comedy Works, and
Mhm.
Saratoga Comedy Works, the crowd there, it's like the crowd is 60 years old and they all brought their parents. Like it's a very old crowd. And
Mhm.
I went up there and did jokes about Justin Bieber and Kanye West and crushed, and they loved it because I
Mhm.
geared it towards them. I said, "You guys don't know about this. Let me educate you." And they loved it. And they jumped on board. So you sometimes you just have to tweak how you say things to get a crowd on your side. But as long as you get the crowd on your side, it doesn't matter who's in the room.
Okay. I appreciate that, man. So you know what I mean? Doing comedy in New York, I know is way different than the DMV area of comedy and Jersey and just Delaware, all in general, just the whole tri-state area. Because you got so many mics, y'all got mics if you go in the city like all day long. Um,
Oh yeah. You can hit like 6 or 7 mics and go home like
and
in
go
a day.
home. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. You're able to work the material to the finest level of material. So have you ever checked out? I've been interested in this spot. Somebody have been telling me about the Grizzly Pear. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there actually no, I think I just went there a couple months ago. Yeah, I've been to the Grizzly Pear a couple of times. It's so this is New York comedy. Is if you go to, I want to say it's McDougal Street in Greenwich Village,
Hmm.
you can walk past the Comedy Cellar, the Grizzly Pear, and Greenwich Village Comedy Club, all within 2 minutes of walking. That is
Wow,
how close comedy is. Like there will be 3 different venues doing 3 different shows multiple times a night at the same time. So
that's
it's weird. And in my opinion, and this is just an opinion,
sorry.
I think the Comedy Cellar is the best club in the country. Like it's just such a good club, and just being able to walk by there and see nationally touring headliners just hanging out when I'm walking to go to the pair is like, it's a cool experience.
You know what I mean? Not even that. You know what I mean? A couple. Nah, I'm trying to plan a trip up to New York. I want to go check it out. But you got Rodney's there. You know what I mean? A lot of people got big breaks off of Rodney's, and there's a lot of y'all have
Yeah.
like a lot of talent. And
Yeah.
but is the scene uh it's not as much gatekeeping up there in New York, or is it in the comedy scene?
It depends. It depends. I think there are people that gatekeep in any scene. And I think that there are people supportive in any scene. You just got to find the
Mhm.
right people. Because there's always going to be people that are going to lead, like even in Albany where I started, there what it was, in my opinion, a very supportive scene. But there are
That's
also
great.
some people who will, book shows lineups that aren't, conducive to keeping the scene good, like booking people that maybe aren't ready and then having shows that aren't as good, and then turnout and the next show is bad. So it's like that happens in any scene. As long as you're true to yourself and true to your material, you'll find good spots, and people will.
Okay. Um. Yeah, man. Because I eventually want to go check that out, man. Because I've been hearing a lot of.
I think we froze.
Oh yeah, I think you did froze. You said it was what was
I
you
think we're.
saying? You said it. Oh, let me pause it real quick. You was talking about is little is some in some scenes, but it mainly in your spot where you started in Albany was real supportive.
Oh yeah, because the thing that I don't think people realize about a scene is like the better you are pushing other people down. You want everyone to be good so that the audience keeps coming back. You want people to be excited for the next show. You want people to come see you multiple times. So the better that everyone is, the better the scene is. Like it helps. So, Albany was very supportive.
Yeah. And that's why I see this like locally on the Maryland scene, Delaware scene. There's a lot of pack runners, right? You see the
Uh-huh.
lead of the pack, and you see them on every card every month. I think the promoter should rotate people, right? You don't want to see the same jokes over and over again. But I know they're the draw for the promoter, but they tell them the same stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it'd be the same people coming to the same
I think we froze
shows.
again.
Uh, I think we're good now. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I said it's be the same people on every card. Because everybody's some is on the scene right now. There's a lot of people running shows and they play the buddy system of I'm gonna let this person run. You know what I mean? Because I put them on my show the other time. I gotta put them on my show this time.
Can you hear
How
me
do you?
now?
I can hear you good. How do you feel about the buddy promoter type thing slash comedian?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. I think we got disconnected for a second there.
Are you
I don't know
good,
what's
man?
going on with my connection in my
You are.
car.
You good,
Um,
man?
but yeah, I will say I the Maryland scene and like booking some of the stand-ups and stuff like that, and I think that can work as long as those headliners are also bringing in newer talent, because sometimes people pay to see the headliner do the same jokes over and over, but having fresher faces coming in, just getting those like getting 15-minute spot or that 20-minute spot can be so beneficial as like a feature. And I will say when I came down to the mic, I was pleasantly surprised with how talented everyone was. Like it seems like you guys have a really strong scene down there. So
Mhm. Yeah, man. I think it's a growing scene. I come down there maybe once a month because I'm in Delaware. But I check it out once a month because I like it because it's you can get your jokes off and it's pretty much a positive scene. Everybody just do their job of telling jokes and try to listen to people's jokes and diddle. You can diddle a little bit and see you can go over your notes and you know what I mean. The food is good. You know what I mean. So it's a good little spot.
oh yeah. And where in Delaware are you based out of?
I'm right by the Wilmington area.
Oh nice.
Yeah,
Nice, that's
yeah.
good. I was trying to look for stuff out there for a period of time because my wife's family is in Dover, so I was like looking for stuff in that area. So
Yeah, it's a mic on Tuesday at Cool J's, and a mic at Bar 13 on Wednesday, every Wednesday.
Okay.
So
Well,
if
next
you're
time
in
I'm in here, I probably won't be there till like the holidays, so that'll be in December. I'll be reaching out to you. I'll be like, "Where's what now?"
there, yeah, man. So but man, so you say you was watching a lot of roast battles on Comedy Central. So where what are some comedians that you like you love when you was a young comic or just watching comedy?
Honestly, when I was watching comedy, back then specifically, like specifically with roasts, I was a very big Greg Giraldo guy. I think Greg Giraldo is a fantastic roaster.
Damn,
I
I
think
haven't heard that. I haven't heard that name in a while.
yeah, no, his son is out here in the city doing comedy now too. His son's super funny. He's a super nice dude too. And then I know who else is Nikki Glazer. I think Nikki Glazer is really like carrying that. Like she is such a good roaster. Like the past few roasts, but specifically, like she really blew up off that Tom Brady roast, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, she was the best roaster." And I'm like, I've been saying this for years that she's been the best roaster on the roast. Like she's a powerhouse. Like Nikki Glazer is very good. Outside of roasts, like when Donald Glover was still doing comedy, like Donald Glover is such a good comic, but he's just one of those people that he's off doing Childish Gambino and being a rapper and like doing all these other things, but like his stand up was so good.
I never watched none of his stand up. I just know he's a really gifted writer, man. I just say
Oh yeah.
he's like a quadruple threat.
Oh yeah.
like, like that show Atlanta was a great series.
Yeah. And even before that, Community, he was so good on Community.
Mhm.
Like he was a writer for 30 Rock, which is a lot of people say is one of the best written sitcoms. Like Donald Glover is one of those people that like you could split him into 4 different people and they'd all be the most talented in their field. Like he's just too talented.
And that's hard to do, man. Either
Oh
you just
yeah.
got charisma. You might not be the best writer, but the triple quadruple threats is hard to be
Oh
that.
yeah. No, like and I know like stand up is my lane. I could not do any of the other things that Donald Glover does. Like you won't like writing TV writing I think is very difficult because it's just not the style that I write. And then like to rap and to this he has an Emmy, like he has all these awards, like he's just too talented.
So man, I seen that yeah, I think I remember some of your bit about not having a father and shit like that. Do you feel like it's easier to write from your real life or to just write like a fairy tale jokes? What do you feel like it's more easy to write?
I think that depends on the person. For me, I
Depends on the
write to my
person.
personal experience. Like I write to who I am as a person. Like I don't think I think I could give my joke notebook to someone else and I don't think that they can do my material because I think my material is very personal and you like an audience, especially if I'm doing like a headlining set, like if I'm doing 30 to 45 minutes, like this crowd is going to go, they're going to leave knowing who I am. And I think that that's a really cool part of my comedy. But that's not for everyone. Not everyone is going to do that. Some people don't like to write to themselves. They don't want comedy to be personal. But for me, that's just who I am. That's how I've always been. Like I always use humor to talk about my life. So comedy is a perfect place to do that.
And I feel I totally agree with you because I feel like I walk around with like I walk around my life and just my everyday life, and I think I'm like the Black Larry David. I try to find something funny about my day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like we write from that angle that is easy to remember your jokes.
Oh yeah. And in the same thing, no one else can do your stuff. It's very much you. And like that's what I like about I like when comics are personal. I like leaving a show going like, okay, that was funny and I feel like I know this person.
Yeah, that's why, you know what I mean? I had that shit on my thing about the airplane crashes, and I said, man, let me just try this out at this mic. You know what I mean? I feel like I like to try my stuff out in different places to see the reaction.
Oh yeah.
Just to see what the reaction is going to be and see if it's going to work, see how much fat I got to cut off, and did I pause at this spot right here? Do I need to roll? Did I do a California roll on this joke? And you know what I mean? I feel like you got to just definitely record to see what you did in the video. What's your thoughts about that? Recording your set and look at the faces, your facial impressions and all that. What's your thoughts about that?
It's so important. It's such an important part of the process. My goal for this year has been to record every single set that I do, and so far I've done that. So am I posting clips on TikTok every day? No. Should I be? Maybe. But like having that to just look back at and go, okay, so I did the joke this way on Tuesday, but then on Thursday I did it this way and it got a different reaction. What do I like better? Can I combine them and do something? Like it's all about playing with the process. Like so no, I think recording is important. And I think more comics need to focus on recording everything, even if you don't post it. Even if it's just audio on your phone, like record everything.
So, man, like you say, how long you say you did a 45, you did a headline spot. Like when you did your first headline spot, was that nervous? Was you nervous doing that whole headline spot? Of you gotta close it out. You know what I mean? You got it. Everything. Everybody's at bat. Everybody's on the bag, and you got to knock a home run because you're closing. How was the pressure of that night for you doing it the first time?
So the first time I did a long set, I very early in my career, I was supposed to be opening for a musician, which is always a weird show when it's a comedian and a musician, and the musician canceled, so they asked if I would do an hour. And I was maybe like a year and a half into comedy. And I was like, that's every joke I've ever written, but sure. And I ended up, it was a bar in my hometown. They paid me in free drinks. I just drank and that's how I got through it. And I ended up doing like an hour and 10. I went over, but they didn't care because they were laughing and having a good time. And they asked me to do it 2 more times. So I did an hour 3 different times very early into my career. Should have never done it. Glad it wasn't recorded. But just the reps of doing that, you're like, oh, I can do this. And then since then, I've stripped back and I said, no, I don't want to do an hour of everything I've ever written. I want to do a half hour of really good material. And then built that half hour. And then I just built a second half hour. And then my goal for next year is to put that full hour together. So it's all about building it and putting it in order and improving it and making it good before you're like, oh, this is my headline set and I can just stamp it and it's good. So, but yeah, so I would say the first time I did a headline set, alcohol is what got me through it, which is so funny because now I don't even drink and perform. I perform sober. So,
and you know, a lot of people. So, what is your rituals for shows? Like, what's your preparation? Is the day of the show? What are your preparations? Do you look at your notes the whole day? Like, what is your preparation for show night?
I look at notes. I will, especially if it's a headlining set. Like I look at my notes. I kind of write out like a bullet point list of the order I want to go in. Because I know the jokes. It's just sometimes, I want to do this joke after I do this joke. If you want it to flow together, I think that's the hardest part is putting things in the right order. So yeah, I go through that process of like, okay, this is the order I want to do things in. And then I kind of I'll listen to recordings of me doing certain jokes, like especially if it's a newer joke, I'm like, I'll listen to myself from like a mic or from like another show where I've done it and kind of go, okay, so this is what I like the pacing on this joke. And then yeah, that's kind of what I do. That's how I get in that mindset, and then listen to some pump up music before I go up, and then I'm good to go.
Like, what does your pump up music playlist look like?
Uh,
Who's on your pump up
it's
list?
for whatever reason, it's one song. It's the band Hailstorm covering the song "Shoot to Thrill" by AC/DC. For
Okay,
whatever reason, that song just gets me in the zone.
okay. So, what is your what? Do you have a meal when you unwind from a show? Do you go out to eat after a show? What is your
It,
after the show routine?
it depends on the show and it depends on where I'm at. If I'm in the city, I'm usually just getting right back on the train and going right back to Long Island.
Okay.
Because if I'm out too late, then I miss the train and then I don't get back until like 6 in the morning.
Woo!
So most likely, I'm if it's a show in the city, I'm just going straight home. If
Okay.
it's on Long Island, it depends on like if other comics are staying around, I'll hang out for like an hour. But like, I, I just am ready to go to bed and go to the next one. Like, it's like I need to regenerate. But yeah, so it really depends. Like if I'm in Plattsburgh, which I do a show up there every 6 months. Um, Usually I'll go out after because that's like it's close to my hometown and it's people that haven't seen me in a while. So I'll go out with a bunch of friends. But so yeah, it really depends on where I'm at and what the situation is. But yeah, sometimes I like to go out and have a drink, or sometimes it's like, no, I just need to go home and go to bed.
Yeah. So, um. So, what are you? You know, you 12 years in. What are some of your goals? Maybe this year, for the rest of the year, and next year.
I think my goal for this year is to polish my hour. I have two next month. I have two shows on Long Island that I'm producing where I'm doing a different half hour at each. And then my plan in October is when I go back up to my show in Plattsburgh, New York. I'm going to do the hour in full for the first time. I'm going to do the out like my fresh hour full headlining set from start to finish. And then, next year hopefully tour that hour around, do like some headlining shows across the state and then see how that hour is tight together and go from there.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan, man. Um.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Woo, like the grind is real, man.
For real, I don't have an agent, so I got to do it all myself. I'm reaching out to all these venues saying this is what I'm doing, book me.
And it be like the hardest thing is just for me. I only got 1 year in. Just to get the guest spots, it'll be like the hardest thing. Like just to get the spots. You know what I mean? Because you're not like a proven thing yet. You know what I mean? Just to get the opening spots. Everybody's fighting for the opening spots. You know,
Oh,
so it's definitely hard, man.
yeah, and like so much of comedy isn't just on stage. It's what you're doing off stage. It's networking. It's social media. It's all these other things. So it's like it's writing. Like people just see, you do 5 minutes on stage. They don't realize the hours of work you put into that 5 minutes on stage.
because it's not like it's different if you already got a following, you're big enough where you can get a writer, you can find me, you can find like a Brennan to write you some shit up. But when you small, you're putting your own work in. You know what I mean? You
Oh
gotta
yeah.
so it's not like you have a bunch of writers. It's not like it's rap or anything. You know what I mean? When you're a rapper or an artist, you can have somebody in the band writing for you. Say this, say that. I got you on this, blah blah blah. It's not like that in comedy, so it's totally a harder thing to achieve. But again, man,
No, I
I
fully agree.
what you say?
It's all about that grind.
It's all about the grind.
I
Man,
said it's all
again,
about that grind. You got to do everything.
you gotta do everything, man. But man, I appreciate you coming on, man, and giving me your time. You let the people know where they can get you on social media and reach out to you and all that.
I am on every single social media at James King Comedy. Nice and easy. I keep it simple. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Threads. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Instagram. It's all James King Comedy.
All right. Again, man, I appreciate you coming on here, man. If I'm ever in New York, I'm gonna hit you up, man, and to check some mics out, man.
Sounds good. I'll hit you up when I'm coming back to Delaware. We'll talk.
All right, man. I appreciate you again. This has been another episode of Rod Uncensored, and I am out. Y'all have a good night.